South Jamaica, baby, they made me to be the greatest. Serving the deed of my creators. Fresh off of my high haters. It's the king again. Magdalene, chauffeured, bragging and boasting.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Dollars. Welcome back to the channel. It's another day, another dollar video, and today I'm reacting to the Deadly War in Camden, Active Gxng vs 51st Street. Now, I've done a couple reactions to Active Gxng. They got a couple dope tracks, but one of my supporters asked me to react to this. I guess this is like the backstory of Active Gxng, who they beef with. I'm not sure if I know 51st, if I ever reacted to them. I don't even know if they're rappers. That's probably just a straight street gang or some shit. But yeah, I'm interested to see, you know, the behind the scenes of what's going on over there. I'm tapped in with the UK drill scene. I love the UK drill. I think it's the #1 for me right now. And the #2 is New York, where I'm from. Feel me? I feel like it's UK then New York right now that got it with the UK, with the drill. But yeah, well, let's hop in this joint, check it out. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe. Let's get it.
2 men have been stabbed to death in 2 separate attacks in Kentish Town in North London last night. The body of the first victim, believed to be in his late teens, was found a couple of hours before police discovered the second victim, who's thought to be in his 20s.
Too many young lives getting taken,
the heart
man.
of fashion and culture in London, with some of the most expensive house prices and biggest tourist attractions in England. And from the outside in, looks like the perfect place to live. But that's what the government want to show you. Once we go deeper into the lower income estates of the borough, we start to see a different story. A story of the country's most deprived estates in London being separated from roads of millionaires literally by one street, and how these estates have created—
Holy shit, so the rich and the poor, they separated by 1 block. That sounds like a recipe for disaster for me, if you ask me. And homeboy, you gotta invest in a new mic or something, because that mic, your voice is too high pitched, bro. Like you sound like you shrieking when you're talking, bro. Killing my ears there. I gotta lower him a little bit. But yeah, let's get back to it.
The Deadly Gang War, which has taken over the borough in recent years. But before I get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications.
Yeah, make sure to do that too over here, man, what he just said. Hit that like button, make sure the notifications is on. Oh shit, I feel like I'm at the movie theaters right now, bro. That was a dope animation.
So Camden is a borough in northwest London and is very, very close to the centre of London.
But
despite the area being so close to the rich centre of the capital, in the last few years the war in the area has been going brazy. So historically, unlike neighbouring areas like Islington and Brent, Camden's beef situation hasn't been as active as others. But this all changed around 2016 when a man from Camden called Merce had his watch stolen from another man from another area in Camden. After this, there was some back and forth, which resulted in a big rivalry in the borough, literally between groups of kids that grew up together. One side being gangs built up from a few estates in Camden, which were the Peckwater gang from the Peckwater estate, the QC gang, which were from a road in Camden called Queen's Crescent, and Cumber, which is a gang made up from an estate called Regent's Park in Cumberland Market. They linked up together and called themselves 51st, due to their postcodes being in NW1 and NW5, which is where the 5 and the 1 come from. And from the other side of the feud, we have a gang called Active Gxng, which some people may know from their songs, and they're from the Agar Grove estate in Camden. And Active Gxng are affiliated with another gang called CT1 and NRB, which they all linked up and called themselves 71st.
So
and just like that, the war was now on between 51st and 71st over this watch being stolen. So Camden is actually home to a big Somalian community, with a big portion of them residing in Agar Grove, which is the territory of the 71st gang. Such a big community that the majority of 71st members are actually Somalian. And if you watch one of my previous videos on Mali Strip, Somalian people are people you don't want to be messing with, which you will understand more in this video. And this beef was on go from early. In 2017, 2 members of the AG gang, which represent 71st, executed a triple shooting on 3 51st members. 2 of the members ran to a nearby hospital, but while hospital staff was treating the 2 members, they also called police to the hospital to investigate the situation. Once the 2 realised the police was called, they didn't even care about their treatment anymore, and attempted to run out of the hospital while still having bullet wounds lodged in them. But the police ended up detaining them and arresting them after a struggle between the both. The reason—
Damn, how you get shot and then arrested, bro? Talk about adding salt to the wounds. You're the victim, but you get shot, you get arrested after you got shot. Like, that's messed up. If anything, they could have just stood there and, you know, the cops, the only thing they're going to do is ask questions. You don't have to tell them. You don't ever have to give them any information. So they could have still got their wounds treated, not said shit, and they would have still been good.
The reason they wanted to run was because all 3 members are actually wanted for suspicion of grievous bodily harm.
Okay,
which
that
all 3
makes
were
sense.
eventually arrested for.
They were
now, of
wanted.
course,
The cops were
51st weren't
looking for
happy
them.
about this triple shooting, and they were trying to get it back in blood. So they went lurking on the Eagle
Get it
Grove
back in
estate
blood.
and shot a rival in the face with a shotgun. The rival actually managed to survive and make his own way back to hospital. But this
Wow, homie got shot in the face with a shotgun and he survived, bro. That he must look like Two-Face after that, bro. Something is different, man. Something ain't working after that, bro. He got some special needs after that happens, bro. A shotgun to the face and you survive, bro. Wow. That's crazy.
This beef really kicked off in a situation that wasn't even linked to both of the gangs. So on February 2017, a 16-year-old girl had an Airbnb party in Kensington, West London. You know those type of parties where a girl invites 7 different types of gangs and asks people to leave their beef at home? Yeah, one of those. So at this party, there were people from all over London there. But a few uninvited guests tried to pull up to the party. One
There's
of
always
these people being the boy from
uninvited
51st
guests.
called Dotty and his friend, who pulled up to the party with a gun and knife looking for trouble. But the night turned left for Dotty and his friend, and ended up with Dotty being chased down by 20 young boys. And when the boys caught up to him, they stabbed him 13 times altogether, which actually resulted in Dotty dying, which 4 16-year-old boys from...
How do you go looking for trouble? You have a gun and knife on you, but you get chased by 20 dudes and then stabbed to death. But you had a gun on you, so that means you wasn't even going to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you guys look for trouble, bro, you're going to find it, you know? I'm not saying that, you know, even if you're not looking for trouble, you can still find trouble, but when you actively looking for trouble, bro, nothing good comes out of it. That's just crazy, bro. And he lost his life over something he didn't have to lose his life over.
Hackney and Tottenham were sentenced and convicted for. So 51st were mad about this situation, obviously, that their member Dotty was just stabbed to death. So they were out trying to get revenge. So they went out for revenge in a stolen BMW.
They try to get it back
and
in
travelled
blood.
all the way from Camden, northwest London, to Hackney in East London, and then to Tottenham in North London, because that's where the people who killed Dotty were from. But they ended up finding no one from both areas. But they weren't trying to go home without spilling some blood first. So 51st went all the way back to Camden to look for 71st members, and found an affiliate member of 71st called AK, and killed him. But they weren't done there. They were riding for a whole nother 2 hours.
So they went looking for the dudes that killed their mans, didn't find them, but they remembered that they had other ops. They're like, you know what, we're going to take it out on you because we couldn't find these guys that killed our mans. Make that shit make sense, man. That's crazy. And then he mentioned this guy's name.
And killed him. But they weren't done there.
Who was
Some
it?
blood first. So 51st went all the way back to Camden to look for 71st members, and found an affiliate member of 71st called AK.
AK, is that who Active Gang Suspect was talking about on that song I reacted to? He said, I miss AK. I'm assuming this was who Suspect was talking about. This is his friend. And he's from 71st, so I might be right, man. Let me know if I'm right, man. And if I am, drop a like for that, man. Come on, man.
And killed him. But they weren't done there. They were riding for a whole nother 2 hours looking for more 71st members, and found a 71st member called Mitch's
They committed to their craft.
Mitch's little brother attempted to run into a cab and begged the driver to drive him to safety, but the driver refused to move, and he was dragged out of the cab and stabbed to death by 51st members.
Wow.
All within 2
Yo, bro, that's so messed up. Like, he's in your cab. You see that he's in danger and you couldn't just get him out of there, bro? Like, that's some heartless shit. Like, you're a piece of shit for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't want to get involved with what's going on, but bro, literally his life is in your hands. Like, you got to live with that the rest of your life. Like, you could have saved that kid's life, bro. That's some real piece of shit, asshole shit to do, bro. And God will remember that, man. That's fucked
2
up.
hours of their first murder they committed that night, and 6 members were sentenced to life for these murders. Then on September 4th, 2017, a member from 51st called Flips and the older brother of the second boy who died that night called Mitch bumped into each other
The
on
older
Hampstead
brother.
Road in Camden and started getting into a little altercation, which ended with Flips stabbing Mitch in his arm, neck and back, leaving the knife lodged into Mitch's bones and murdering him. An undercover policeman just happened to witness.
Wow. So that mom, poor mom, lost her baby and the older brother. She lost 2 sons, man. Like, my heart goes out to those moms that lose multiple kids, man. Like, to gang violence. Like, you burying your baby. No parent should have to bury their child, bro. But maybe sometimes you should do a better job of raising them too, so they don't fall into that lifestyle. But even if you raise your child the smart, you know, the good way, it's no guarantee, man, because There's kids that come from good families and they still fuck up. They still choose to do the wrong things. They still choose to be in the gang. Like there's, there's never no guarantee, man. But I don't know, man. I would hope that if I have kids in the future, God willing, that's something that I wanted. But seeing how the world is nowadays, I don't know. I would hope that I raised them good enough and smart enough that they would never choose that life. Nobody wants that life for their kids, bro.
Witnessed this whole situation and ran down Phillips and arrested him, and now Phillips is serving 17 years to life for this murder. After this, the beef in Camden went under some serious investigation by police, and members from all sides started to get taken down for conspiracies, firearms and drug charges, and the beef started to die down a bit. But then 2019 hit, and quite a lot of the members that were locked up started to come out, and taking in consideration that 51st members, just before everyone started going to prison, had killed 3 71st members. 71st members started coming out of prison on some demon time. And
I was just about to say, yo, it seems like 51st is up in the score, bro. It's like they've been packing dudes left and right. What's going on, Active Gang? Y'all gonna get it back in blood or what? Because I'm like, he just keep talking about 51st did this to this person, they did this to that. I'm like, okay, where's Active Gang? And now I guess he's gonna start saying, Active Gang came out and they were looking for blood, man, and they wanted to get it back.
We're most definitely looking for revenge with no warnings. The first signs that 71st was really back was on a cold Tuesday in February. 1 AM in the morning, a 51st member called T Squeeze was walking past the Sainsbury's in Camden.
Recipe for disaster.
When a 4x4 crashed into him and several 71st members jumped out on him like a pack of wolves, stabbing him repeatedly in his head and body, leaving him literally paralyzed and not being able to walk. But that wasn't enough for 71st members. They wanted someone dead for their friends. So on April 1st, 2019, a suspected member of 51st called C Miz and his cousin were walking down Grafton Road in Gospel Oak, Camden, when 4 71st members jumped out a stolen black car and started chasing them. C Miz and his cousin split up, but unfortunately the men who jumped out the car locked onto C Miz, and C Miz ended up dropping to the ground when the 71st members started to stab him repeatedly with machetes and then run from the scene. After this murder, 71st members made a song called Congo, and the reason why they called it Congo is because C Miz was actually a refugee from Congo after him and his family fled the war from over there. And members repeatedly in their songs say that they get their weed from Congo, not Cali. Pretty much just trying to say that they're smoking on C Miz. And as I said before, the majority of these 71st members are Somalian. So after all this, there was news going about in Camden that 51st members were out on the lurk, and any Somalian they see they're killing.
Heard some really strong intelligence that there is going to be revenge for Calvin's killing and his friend.
The Winter Soldier from my world was out of control, Cap. No matter which Earth you come from.
I've literally said they are going to go out and kill any Somali in retaliation. So I don't
like stuff like that, man. I don't like when people take it out on innocent people. Like, they have nothing to do with that gang shit, and you want to take it out just because they're from a certain nationality or race. That doesn't sit well with me. I feel like if you're going to take it out on somebody, take it out on the dudes that's causing you pain, that killed your homies. You don't kill innocent people, bro. That should never sit right with me, bro.
Young Somali woman in Camden, who's 24 years old, and basically we strongly suspect they're going to go out tonight and kill a Somali.
Which is probably a bit of a stretch. But on the other hand, 71st members kept saying that they're warring with Jalirs, which is basically the Somalian word for West African people. Because you have to remember, despite Somalians being dark-skinned and African, a lot of Somalians don't really see themselves the same as other black people. So this was kind of turning into a race war between Somalian and black people in Camden, which is just all wrong for so many reasons. But 71st weren't happy enough with the killing of C Miz. They wanted to spill more blood. So August 12, 2019, 6 members started circling the states of 51st members in a stolen Ford Fiesta and a stolen Seat when they spotted 16-year-old culprit and other members coming out of a restaurant around 10:30 PM. Culprit and other members ran to a nearby set of blocks near Euston Road, but 71st members found them later on that night, and 3 members jumped out and chased them down, catching up to the 16-year-old 51st member called Culprit. Culprit was running for his life and literally screaming for help, banging on neighbors' doors to let him in so he could escape his attackers. But when the 71st members caught up to him, 2 71st members held him, while a 3rd member repeatedly pushed a 1-foot-long zombie killing knife through his chest while it was coming out of his back. And when the 71st members were done, the killers were said to be running away after, laughing hysterically, which is what bystanders said.
That shit came out of his back.
He was just any normal kid from London. He was talented at football and even had trials for Southampton Football Club, but started getting involved in a local gang and brushed aside his football, and unfortunately became a
That's a damn shame, bro. He could have made it with his football. Could have probably been playing football in the big leagues one day, making money. Had a bright future ahead of him, but he wanted to put that to the side to join a gang, bro. And look where that got him.
A victim of the streets. Now, as he's back and forth,
let that be a lesson to some of y'all.
51st were now looking for revenge on their recent L's, and there were many stabbings across the month. And early on in September, there was a case of 3 killings in 5 days in Camden. One of these being a man from a completely different area all the way in East London, but unfortunately he was walking at the wrong place at the wrong time. So he was actually walking on Queen's Crescent Estate, which is a hotspot for 51st members, and was shot and killed in a drive-by, being mistaken for a 51st member. Just an hour before, another
he was mistaken for somebody else. And that's one of my worst fears, bro, is being mistaken for somebody else. Because I always get that, yo, you look like this person. Yo, I thought you was my mans. You look just like him. Because you don't never know if the person they say you look like is somebody that did them dirty. Who, you know, like, it's just, I hate that. Like, I don't ever want to be mistaken for the wrong person and something happens because of that, you know. Even being arrested and being mistaken for the crook or something. That's some shit that I always feared, because I always get that, yo, you look like this guy. You look like, yo, bro, I look like me. All right. They look like me. I don't look like them. Let's get that straight.
A woman was stabbed to death just a few hundred yards from the situation, and 4 days later a 71st member called Nuts was stabbed to death by a gang of 51st members with machetes outside one of the busiest areas in London, Camden Tube Station. And for the longest, a lot of people didn't even know what this stuff was going on, until a 71st member called Suspect started jumping on the drill scene, calling himself the Camden Grim Reaper, and releasing some of the most disrespectful tunes towards his ops.
That reminds me of Little Reese, the Chicago Grim
any song
Reaper.
that the gang uploads, which really started to bring some attention to what's happening down there. And definitely got the attention of me, especially a song from Suspect called Dugout, which is probably one of the most disrespectful songs I've ever heard, and really makes you think how tight this whole beef is. In one of his lines, he says,
"Same place we used to play runouts is the same place his chest got dug out.
Wow.
Same place I was telling you play out is the same place I'm telling you come out."
Which really makes you think, damn, these guys were close friends at one time, and now they're trying to kill each other. All stemming from a little small altercation that happened a couple years back. But anyway, guys, that's it for today's video, and peace out.
Over a watch. That shit has so many consequences and ramifications. So many people died. Even an innocent person died over somebody getting their watch stolen, bro. And these guys were kids that grew up with each other, and now they on the opposite side. Shit is crazy, man. And let this be a lesson for some of you kids, man, that think this game, this life is a joke, and you see people glamorizing it in music, and y'all think it's cool when it's not, man. Like, real life is not cool, but it is what it is. This was an interesting video. I liked it very much. I learned a lot. And yeah, guys, send me more videos like this from other groups, other UK drill groups that are, you know, involved with shit. So I want to learn more. I'll do some more reactions to stuff like this. All right. I enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this reaction, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Road to 20K. And I'm definitely going to check out more of Active Gxng's music. Dugout, I need to, because I've seen some of y'all request it. And 51st, do they have any rappers at all? Let me know if they do, because I'll check out their music too. All right, it's your boy Dollars. I'm out of here. 1.